sticky.
You've already started.
You're live. No one's here yet.
Hey everybody, it's Valerie from Valerie Wallace-9. I'm here in Orono, Maine, doing my 1 o'clock free drawing class like I do every day. And today we're going to do this flapper lady. Flappers were like cool chicks from the 20s, 1920s, like 100 years ago. And this is in profile. I just want to give you a quick little diagram of what goes on when you do a profile, because this part of your head, if you can see on me, I mean, this is a huge part of your head, and your profile is actually pretty small, okay? So what happens is you have this big circle, okay? And then you'd have the middle of this side and the middle of this side, and what happens is you have a line that comes down like this, okay? And right about even with the bottom of your head is where your nose goes, and your nose sits kind of like right here, so it would line up here. And then whatever the distance is from your eyes, which is like where your corner of your nose is from this down, that's where your chin is. So you have a line like this. Your ear sits right here, and that goes from about the top of your, well, usually like about where your eyes are to the bottom of your nose. So it's kind of like this, okay? And then your chin's here, and then it goes up and makes a connection right here in your jaw, okay? And then notice that your neck, like even she has kind of quite a distance here, but it's close, okay? And the rest of your neck is back here like this. And what happens is your lips kind of pop off of this line. And in her case, very close to her nose. So you have a little line like here, your nose comes in a little bit like that, and you have your lips kind of bump off of here, and they go back down like this, and then you have a little divot underneath your lips, and then it rounds out on your chin. Okay? And then what happens is your eyes are right in here. Okay? And so what then, it would have your hair, here would be coming down like this. There's her short little haircut. Okay? Here's her earrings. Okay? Do you see how that works? Yes? Okay. I'm going to leave this right here so that if you're kind of thrown off, you'll get what's going on underneath that hat of hers. Okay? All right. Let's get started, right? Ready to go? Okay. I'm going to do one with the oil pastels here, and I'm going to do one with the charcoal down here. And I'm going to do, I think this is going to show, well, geez, I don't know. I want you to use as light something as you can find to sketch this out. I mean, her skin is almost white. Obviously, you can make her skin any color that you want. If I do it in this pale color, you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to have to use something darker. Where's that reddish brown? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to do it darker, and I'll just color over it. But also the background is dark, so we can color over the lines anyway. All right. We're going to use the proportions of this picture to basically get things planned here. We're going to start with this line right here, okay, on her hat, which is kind of like right about here. What will help is, I want you to see where this is, and this is a little close to the side. I want to go that close. But we're going to come down about that far from the upper corner. So go up to the top here, and like I said, not way on the edge, but come up here, and then I want you to drop down maybe around here. All right? Give yourself a little spot. And then we'll do the same thing over here. I want a little room from here to here to do the front of her hat. So if you're like way up to the top, bring it down lower. Then this one right here, this spot, is kind of about the middle of the paper from top to bottom. Maybe a little bit lower, and then in a little bit. So I'm going to go from here to here, maybe a little bit lower, and then I'm going to come in, I'm going to make a spot here. Okay? And then I'm going to connect from here to here. Okay? Seems weird, but that's what we're going to do. And what we're going to do with this picture is base the profile off of her hat. We're going to use the hat to set up the proportions. Okay? This seems awfully long, doesn't it? It does kind of go back down her neck a little bit. That's probably why. tip of her nose, we're going to draw a line that goes from her hat to the tip of her nose. The tip of her nose is pretty much lining up with the front of her hat, okay? So we want to go from wherever you made the hat, I want you to drop down there. Now the question is, how far do you drop down? If I draw a line from the tip of her nose right over, it's about the middle from here to here. Does that make sense? Yes? You can answer.
Yes. Oh.
Okay, so roughly that. All right, you don't want a super long nose, and we're not really dealing with her eye. So when in doubt, a little bit on the shorter side. Okay? So I'm going to find where I think is about the middle from here to here, and I'm going to go over till I'm lining up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Okay?
So much
You see
sense.
that little dot? And this is going to be a line that's, you know, at a slope towards the hat like that. Okay? So on my girl here, what would happen is she'd have a little bit more tilt to that nose, I think. Okay. Same thing down here. There's the middle. Here's this point. I'm dropping down here. I'm going here. It's like I'm finding a point on a graph, right? That's about where I want. So the thing, oh, I know. I guess, notice this, that this line doesn't go to the tip of her hat. There's this little piece right here. I didn't say that. You got it though, right? Yes?
I just drew a line, yeah.
Okay. If you already drew this line, but now it's the end of the hat, just add the hat on the front a little bit. Okay? All right. Now, her nose here tilts down just a little bit like that. All right. Now, what did I decide I was going to do? Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to take, if I measure from here to here, the half of her hat, and I go from the tip of her nose to her chin, it's about the same distance, okay? So I'm going to measure from here to here, and I'm going to go right about here, and that's going to tell me where about her chin is going to be. Okay, so that's going to be right about here. Does that make sense?
Basically lines up with the hat, bottom of the hat.
Pretty close, pretty close. Actually, her chin is a little bit lower than where the hat is, isn't it? But I might have made my hat line a little bit long. Well, I want to see what happens when I do it here. Here's this, there. That's going to be about here. This is going to be in a little bit. I guess it kind of depends on how long you made. Well, no, I guess not. Okay. Then what we're going to do is the lower part of her face. Okay? Now notice that, all right, so if I bring this line in and I curve this a little bit, like this, and it has a little slope. If you made that straight up, that's fine too. But she's got a little turned up nose. Okay? The distance from her nose to her upper lip is very, very close. Okay? If you get that off, you'll be like, something's funny about my girl, I don't like her that much. And it's probably has something to do with that. You want it close. The distance between here and here, you mostly want it small. All right? Oh, and also notice that it doesn't start way in here where the nose curls. It starts about in the middle. So you're going to make a little line that comes down like this. Okay? And I'll do that to y'all. Oops, and I'll curl this a little bit. All right? Now, she has a very short mouth. The corner of her mouth, right here, this part, is just a little bit longer than where her side of her nostril is. So what you do, we decided that making it sort of like a sideways heart. So you're going to have a slanted line like this and a slanted line like this. The key is don't go too far. So I'm going to slant a line that comes down like this so that this corner of the mouth is just a little beyond where her nostril is. And then I'm going to make another wide line like this. It's going to look like she has her mouth open. All right. It has to be kind of a big, and what will happen is if you have to adjust it, you know, she's going to have colored lips on there anyway. So you can color over. If you're using something really light, you'll be able to adjust it. Okay. The other thing you're going to do is make a line right in the middle that's a little bit shorter. Well, yeah, or lines right up with the one that comes out of her nose, kind of like that. Now it looks like she has a very, very skinny serpentine tongue sticking out. Right? All right. I mean, and again, keep in mind that this is this is a painting by Welch, and it's not a real person, so she has sort of stylized features. Okay. So yours doesn't need to look like this. All right. Then what you do is you round this, not too much, I guess, and this. The more you round it, the plumper and more luscious her lips will be. If you don't round it, it's not, and you can always add on. All right? I feel like this is a little bit too close for her chin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that a little bit. Don't be so dark. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, right under her lower lip, she has this little divot. So you're going to go right like that. Very, very small, okay? So it's just going to curve the other way like a letter C. All right? And now the next thing is, but you don't, see how her chin is lined up with her lips? I don't want to get my chin sticking out. If you bump it out like that, she's going to look a little like...
Gaston.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I was going to say either like a witch or have a little bit more of a English profile with a big chin. Okay? So just do a little bit. You'll be happier with a little bit of a chin. Okay? And then it's going to come in a little bit and maybe up. But don't go very far. Alright? You don't want it to go to her hat because nobody's jaw does that. It'll look like, again, like she has an enormous jaw and chin. Okay? So down here what I did, I'm going to take this line and I'm going to round this a little bit. And I'm going to round this a little bit. And then I make a little like letter C. And then I'm going to round just a little bit. Okay. Ooh, that bumped right out there, didn't I? Woo! Whoa! Alright, so now I can show you what happened. Like, that's what happens if you make it too big, right? You don't want it too, like, caved either, because then it'll look like somebody that doesn't have a chin. Profiles are hard. You have to practice. But you can practice just by doodling on a... Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little sharp on the divot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
All right, good. We're good. Now we want to have this piece that comes, see how it hits kind of the top of her nose, the bridge of her nose. So you have this piece. If you have to extend it, go ahead. And that's kind of like, keeping that hat down over her eyes. All right. And then, so in reality, let's see if, she's got a pretty short little nose, but if her eye were right here and her nose were here, her ear would be right around in here. Oh, that seems a little weird. Probably more like here. So that means my chin is heading up here. So there's not going to be very far from here to here. Okay? But you have to have it come up a little bit. Then what happens is, on the back of her hat, this line, she's got her neck is a little narrower, and just because of the stylizing, it's a little bit wider as it comes down, okay? So if you take this line and you kind of lean it out to the side as you bring it down, she also has a really long neck, all right? And then this one is right about here, and same thing, it's going to start in and it's going to go out just a little bit, all right? So here, I'm bringing this up a little bit. Right on that back of that hat, I'm going to bring her neck out and down. This one, I'm going to bring it this way a little bit. All right? And depending on how much room you have here for her shirt, this line is going to come this way and go right to the bottom of the page. And then her shoulder, she's not... broad-shouldered farm girl. She's a more dainty girl. I think also in the teens is still when they had those shirts that would really, I think they even had like a ruffle out here to really accentuate the shoulders, and then the flappers wore really slinky dresses. Okay, so we want to bring that shoulder down. You're going to have a line that comes right from where her, her neck might go like this, and then her shirt comes like this, and then down like that. Okay? Just because you don't want a head just floating in air, right? You want to have it have some. Okay, this comes down, bring this around a little bit, and then get around like that. All right? Looks good? We're getting it? Okay. I think, depending, you might have to like sketch this on there and then hold it up and say like that hat is too big, that hat is, too small, I gotta add on. But if you can, you're figuring it's gonna start up like this, and this curves like this, and then it goes in a little bit. So you curve it out a little and then bring it in. Alright, but you don't want to go straight out here. You want this to go back just a little bit, but you have to imagine that her forehead goes here. So you can't go too far. Alright? I think that's okay. I don't know, maybe a little bit more out here. Alright? So down like this. And then up. Remembering that her, head is big in there like this. It's like this. Alright, and this comes in a little bit and goes up. Cute, 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 cute. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me see if it's right. Yeah, I like it. Alright, and the other thing she needs, you pick whatever color you want, but this is going to make a big difference, is this little bit of her hair that's here. Okay? So it's going over her cheek just a teeny bit, so it's kind of like right here, and then kind of comes back. So she has this little I guess it's kind of a triangle up here. Alright, but you want it nice and short. I also actually made that a little bit long. Right? I'll do it shorter here. We were watching this Netflix show Babylon, which takes place in Berlin in the 20s. And there's a really cute actress that wears this hat all the time. She's a really cool chick in the show. Alright. We're ready to go. So, I am going to use this reddish brown to just do a little bit of shading. She's going to have a little shadow under her chin, so I'm going to just lightly get a little extra here. And make sure I'm bringing that neck to a good place. Maybe a little up the back of her. Mostly she's just one color on her face, the way the lighting is. But the neck has got to have a little bit of shading. Just a little on that. Okay. And then I think I will take this really light white person's skin color. Okay, which is a little peachy. I'm going to put no, I think I'll do it afterwards. Oh, the other place I want a little shadow is here. So we're right along her hat right here. We're gonna have a little shadow, not much, because of her hat. And that's why we don't have to deal with her eye. We'll save the eye for another time. So, if you are interested in trying out some of the other videos, they're on YouTube at Free Drawing Class. with Valerie Wallace Fine Arts, and there's over 40, and they're going to keep coming, at least for a little while. I have had a request for a princess, so that will be coming.
Princess.
Yeah, from my friend Max. And there's that. Yeah, so I'm going to put a little bit, not orange, but a little pink, maybe even a little bit in a stylized way, I guess. A little circle. Alright. Cheek. And, yeah, down here. So with this, a little bit of shadow underneath the chin. I'm going to do another horse again soon, too. For all the horse girls and boys out there. It's a very beautiful day here in Orono, Maine, except that it is blowing like crazy. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Blow you right away. Alright. If you take, to do her lips, if you use a slightly darker color on the top and a slightly lighter color on the bottom, it will give it a little more shape. If you're looking at it and you're like, something's wrong, I don't like how that it came out, it probably has to do with, like you saw what happened when I made the chin a little bit too big. If you get the nose a little too far out there, you know, these things are right on this line. If you look at how little these parts of her face bump off of that line, it's not very much. So if you've got things popping way out there, it may look really cool. It may have a great face with like really interesting features, but it may be just like too much. I'm gonna use what is it? I got this dark sepia brown, and I'm gonna use that in that little line between her lips, because that's usually pretty dark. And on her hair here. Profiles are tricky. You gotta make sure that there's, you know, a lot more head than face too. Skull. I should have got out my skull. I always get that out for the kids, showing them what it really looks like. I just got it as like a Halloween decoration. Alright. If you give that a little teensy curve up on the thing, she'll look a little happier. And what, you know, with the hat, what we're wanting is, I think, in a way, these wrinkles kind of come back and kind of, it collapses on itself a little bit, so you might like to have them start kind of from a place down low. And we'll have a little shading on the back of her hat like that. It's going to help to round it out. Oh, we also need this part in here to be dark, this little bell-shaped, the inside of her hat. There we go. Like that. And bring that along there nice. So it looks like her head goes in there. bunch of piles of leaves and dirt that I have to get off the road. I'm tired. I'm tired of picking up sticks and leaves. It's been a very, just get everything all together, and the next thing I know is another branch fell off a tree. Another and another and another. Where's that color I had? Is it in my hands?
What are you looking for?
I was looking for that brown. This is not good at all. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Get a nice line along the rim of that. There we go. Maybe something in between here. I'm not being very entertaining today.
It's fine. I don't think you need to.
There we go. Let's see. There's that. Let's see what's left. Anything?
Not really.
I could color the background in. Something like down here, if I, want to shape her face, get rid of that, maybe make her chin just a little less protruding. Makes it look a little more cartoony, doesn't it? That kind of sticks out there. You really just need to practice. Like I said, just doodling little profiles until you get, so it starts to make sense and come natural to you, because a lot of what people do is they make the profile and then they go like this and they bring it down and it looks like, a cartoon. But that's not the same thing. So if I bring this black here, this makes her white skin stand out against the background too. Because you can't make something look white unless you make something else black against it. If you'd like to make a donation, which is wonderful, if you can swing it, there you can make a donation for a little as $1 at ValerieWallace-9 on the ticket page, or on Venmo at Valerie Wallace-9. And if you, money's tight for everybody. I get it. So it's cool. I'd love having you watch, even if you can't do that. But it would be super great if you would share it. Or just like it, so I know that you're out there watching, so it makes it, worth my while. And, because it's super fun for me. I always feel great after I'm done. Always. All right, so I'm going to take the camera and I'll show you the picture up close so you can hold on to that and finalize things up. Jazzu Jones! Hey, it's the piano tuner. Isn't that funny?
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
I was like, who's
And Dennis. And Michael, Gina, Kim Ketch, Lisa Fox, Tom Mallory. Did you go to kickboxing with Tom Mallory? Yeah. That guy with the black hair. He looks like Mark Ruffalo.
I don't think so.
Oh, Excellent. I really miss it. It was excellent class. Okay, well, thank you so much. And I'll be here again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Oh, hold me up. This is what we're doing. That's all right. This is what we're doing tomorrow. We're thinking Halloween. All right. Thank you.